Hello everybody and welcome! On June 28th, 2024, the development studio for Kerbal Space Program 2 was shut down. We got that warning notice 2 months earlier, but now that we saw images of people cleaning out their desks and also Kerbal Space Program 2 creative director titling himself as former creative director for KSP2 on LinkedIn, we can safely assume that there is currently no active feature development for Kerbal Space Program 2 going on. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with an unfinished game without any of the key features that were promised 5 years ago, like colonies, interstellar and multiplayer, even though especially multiplayer was highly unlikely to be something that they would put in the first version of the game at all. The game is still available on Steam. You could theoretically still buy it. It is officially still in early access because the publisher Take-Two has not yet decided to take it down. What they have decided is apparently to completely get rid of their indie development sub-franchise private division. So even if KSP2 would have been complete, it maybe would have been shut down anyway because the people on top of Take-Two decided it's not worth the hassle. They are going to focus on the big titles like GTA 6, whenever that's going to come out, and other things that have big franchises behind them and that are sure to generate a lot of revenue for them. Because the games industry is in a bad place at the moment. There are layoffs everywhere, projects are getting shut down, studios are getting shut down. But coming back to KSP2, where are we now? Well, we got at least a science feature update in December of last year, and we got a few patches since then, especially the final patch, 0.22, that fixed some of the most egregious bugs, but not all of them. And yeah, the game is kind of playable, but it is completely incomplete. The performance is still not there. There are parts that were promised missing. As I said, we don't have the colonies, we don't have the interstellar, we don't have the multiplayer. So if you want a complete Kerbal experience, well, there's Kerbal Space Program 1, and there's a lot of mods, and there is mod development picking up steam again there as well. That might be something I'll be looking into in the next couple of weeks and months, because, let's be honest, I need to figure out where I'm going to take this channel. Because I kind of hitched my hopes on KSP2 being a success. I did basically what I thought I could do with KSP and the stock game that culminated in my Invictus 2-part movie series, if you want to call it that. But yeah, this is also a question to you guys, because hey, it doesn't make sense for me to produce videos if you're not going to watch them, so let's get into some kind of dialogue and let's start a conversation what you guys want to see on this platform, on this channel. So I thought about revisiting KSP1, of course. I also thought about doing a couple more things in KSP2. There's still 1 or 2 of the development background videos I want to do, especially the multiplayer video that I am still working on, or trying to work on, because there's a lot of other stuff going on in my life at the moment that prevent me from doing so. This is one of the biggest disappointments in my history as a gamer. Because Kerbals are marketable. The Kerbal franchise is something that can generate revenue, it can generate money. They were an instant success, as Scott Manley pointed out in my development deep dive video I released a couple of weeks back. But they somehow squandered it. They somehow didn't manage to extract the essence and build upon that. Is that the fault of the development studio? Is that the fault of the publisher? I think that's a moot point at this moment. We are in the situation that we are in right now, and the situation we're in is we have a sequel to a beloved game that's a bit broken, a bit working. The reviews are of course what they are on Steam. I mean, it got review bombed after the studio closure became published, so I guess nobody's going to pick it up soon, so it won't generate a lot of revenue. There were attempts to sell it to another development studio or to another publisher. I heard Paradox was involved in the talks somehow, but yeah, from what came to light was that Take-Two was a bit too greedy in their selling price, and the other studio or whoever tried to buy the Kerbal IP said, nope, not for that price. Well, understandable that Take-Two wants to recoup their losses. They approximately sunk $60 million into KSP2 so far. But that doesn't mean that the next studio that wants to pick it up is willing to pay that price. So apparently that's where the disagreements stemmed from. What could we expect since Private Division announced that they're still committed to produce updates for KSP2? Well, they produced one update so far. And in theory, it could be possible that an update could come at a later point in time, because I know from my research into the development history of KSP2 that there were some cheaper studios in China involved with parts of the code that was developed, but apparently it was a bit more hassle to deal with them and get them up to speed and control, check their work, etc., than that they really brought to the table. But Take-Two could decide that, hey, in order to officially put out a new update, we let them fix one bug and present that as 0.23 or whatever. So it's, in theory, it's possible. But what I would like to see, and maybe you share that opinion, please put it in the comment down below what you think of that. On Steam, you can create beta branches. So that they create a beta branch for KSP2 and they put everything on there that is in a semi-completed state. We know that Colonies was almost finished. We know that there is prototype stuff for Interstellar going on. Multiplayer, yeah, that's probably going to cause more problems than it's going to be playable, but there was stuff that you could do with it. So yeah, maybe even that. Maybe introduce a feature toggle or something like that, but just put everything that's already done out somewhere on a beta branch with player beware and something, and try it out and have people try it out. That's something that I would really like to see. And then that's also a chance for modders to have a look at it and maybe finish what the developer started, or if not finished, then at least take the edges off if the stuff is still so wonky that it would crash the game all the time. But yeah, I really would like to see how far they've gotten, how much of Interstellar is there, how much of Colonies is there. There must be something, because they have worked on these features in parallel and not just sequentially. The code is out there. The branches are out there. It's only a question of providing them to us, the people who have paid for the game. And we have paid for Colonies, Interstellar and Multiplayer. Those were always part of the marketing. Those were always part of selling it to you, to me, to us as the fans, as the customer. So yeah, Take-Two, you have an obligation to fulfill, in my opinion, so get to it. I doubt they will, because Take-Two is Take-Two and they haven't officially acknowledged the closure of the studio, and I doubt they ever will, because they also pulled the same thing with one of the BioShock development studios. Now I would like to hear from you guys. Have you bought KSP2 and what are you going to do now? Can you still enjoy the game for what it is? Do you still want to continue playing it despite everything that happened and knowing how the development was treated? Let me know your thoughts. Please put them in the comments down below. And also, as I asked you earlier, I would really appreciate some input on how to proceed with this channel, because I already did the KSP1 stuff. I did a lot of stuff since 2014. I tried to experiment with some space history stuff, with some European space stuff, but based on my analytics, barely any one of you is interested in that, so why should I put any energy in that? But still, it would be something that I would be interested in, I mean the European spaceflight stuff, but yeah, let me know if that's something that would interest you. On the other hand, I might experiment with some new games and some new other stuff, new formats. I don't know, it's going to be an interesting time, because right now I'm no longer able to focus on a specific game or a specific franchise, since KSP2 is now basically dead in the water. Unfortunately, I have to say, because I really would have liked to see it succeed. So if you're interested in these experiments that I talked about, or trying out new formats, trying out new content, please subscribe to this channel if you already haven't. And if you are a long-time subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me through all of this madness. And especially a big shout out to all my patrons and all my YouTube members, who you can see here, at least those who have signed up to one of the higher tiers. If you're also interested in supporting my channel, you can go over there and sign up to become a supporter, and then your name would also be here on this side of my face. And again, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for sticking with me. Well, too bad about KSP2. I really feel sad for all the developers who put so much hard work into that game, even though it wasn't always that good as we wanted it to be. But yeah, there was hope that it could have been. But now that hope is crushed, but we will move on and we will find something new.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more and follow me on my social thingies. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.